Shout out to J&J.
So I just want to send a shout out to J&J Sports for having me once again.
This is, episodes, man. You guys got a real good thing going on.
I thought we'd go ahead and take a look at the world of skateboarding. And we're going to focus on Tony Hawk because, he's the GOAT of skateboarding.
Shout out to the legend.
He's actually still learning new tricks, too, which is interesting.
Okay.
He had posted that he had learned a new skate trick to start 2025. Mm-hmm. And, Tony Hawk is 56 years old.
He looks real young, too.
So, at 56 and, still learning new tricks, what does this say about aging in sports?
I feel like playing sports keep you young. You know what I mean? Keeps your body moving. You know what I mean? Even though he's 56, he's moving like he's 25, 30. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And also, he's, focused on what's going on, the serious fires out there in Los Angeles, which our thoughts and prayers go out to Los Angeles for J&J Sports.
Yeah, from the fires, pray all the families are protected. It's a lot. Yeah.
But Hawk has been performing cameos and donating all the profits to the Los Angeles Fire Fund.
That's what's up.
What do you think about his efforts to help Los Angeles?
That's amazing. I feel like everybody should pitch in all over to help them out. So, yeah, I commend him for that. That's a big thing.
And, yeah, he's a California native. He's from San Diego.
Yeah.
But he's lived in Los Angeles for a while.
For a minute, yeah.
And I actually, when I was a kid, I got a chance to see his famous 900 trick.
Really?
They had a free demo at Space Center Houston, and I just kind of showed up. So that was pretty cool to see. Nobody was able to do the 900 at the time. I think now a few athletes have cracked it. But do you think his invention of new skate tricks helped cement him as the greatest of all time?
Yeah, because he creates those hard tasks to complete, just like Tom Brady or football or something like that. And you have to try to break that. So whoever's setting the record, they're the GOAT until somebody can break it and create something else goated.
Skating too. I mean, it's so individual. Like you don't have a team to rely on.
Right. So it's like, and like I said, a lot of different skaters skate differently, and they set different records, different tricks to create and make history. So he's definitely the GOAT in my eyes, though. I grew up watching him. I had one of his skateboards for a minute, James, and
Yeah, I've recently been listening to his Hawk versus Wolf podcast with fellow skater Jason Ellis.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. It's fantastic. Do you think it was difficult for Hawk to transition from skating to podcasting?
No, I don't think so. Because I think his personality just gives podcasts. Like, he's going to be, talk, laid back, chill. No, I don't think it was different.
Yeah, he does. He seems like a really nice guy. Like, just kind of hearing him talk and speak and all that. He actually turned pro in 1982 and ended up retiring 21 years later in 2003.
Yeah.
And interestingly, he actually bought his first house his senior year of high school. And this kind of has me thinking about the college athletes getting paid now with NIL.
Yeah.
Do you think high school athletes are ever going to be able to cash in on their talents?
Yeah, I think that's coming next. Because like I said, college is already in the bag. We know they're getting paid, in the bag. So high school is right around the corner.
What I think would be helpful, because maybe they're worried that the high school athletes will spend the money or something like that. But put it in a fund, and as soon as they turn 18 and they're done with high school sports, then they can get.
Exactly.
That's how I think.
Yeah, just have a funding, somewhere where they can just put the money up.
So that way, if they're transitioning to college or anything like that, it makes it a lot smoother and easier.
Exactly.
So Tony Hawk is nicknamed the Birdman, and there actually are a few notable people who use the name.
Okay.
An Alcatraz prisoner, Robert Stroud, he was later an author, and he raised birds. Mm-hmm. There was an aviator named Lincoln Beachy, and then we can't forget about the Nuggets and Hornets former player, Chris Anderson.
Yeah.
And then I got to say, when I hear Birdman, I think about the New Orleans rapper.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind just now. So, yeah.
So you hear Birdman, you think of the rapper?
Birdman, yeah. I mean, Hawk. It could have been Birdman, Hawkman. I mean, either way, that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
I also do sometimes think back to Chris Anderson, the former player, because he was one of those personalities, and he had some interesting tattoos too.
Yeah.
So Tony Hawk loves technology and computers, and he actually invested heavily in Bitcoin in 2012.
Sure.
So he did what everybody should have been doing back in 2012.
12, right? Yeah.
Do you think this was a smart move from the skater?
Absolutely, and Bitcoin is so big now to where it's like, you know, he's kind of goaded for that too, for investing in putting a lot in that, because a lot of people don't see the vision at first. And he was like, man, it's gonna blow, you know. So,
and you know, the Bitcoin, this is without even mentioning how much he's probably made off of, I think it was like 18 video game titles with his name, Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's a whole franchise that he had going on.
Yeah.
And so, you know, throughout all of his time skating, he's had a lot of really rough injuries.
Mm-hmm.
One that he had mentioned, he said when he was a kid, he had his teeth knocked out, his two front teeth.
Mm.
He was knocked unconscious, and somebody found him at the bottom of the empty pool where the skaters were skating.
Wow.
It was actually so serious that the hospital doctors privately took him aside and asked them if his parents were like responsible for the injuries.
Okay.
But he was saying that kind of lightheartedly, kind of explaining that, you know, I mean, he got injured and, you know, it was from a skateboard.
Right. I'm about to say, I don't think it's his parents. Definitely skating or something.
And throughout his skating, he's had broken ribs, broken legs, multiple serious concussions, a fractured thumb, a skull, and hip. Wow. And this is just among the many injuries that he's had.
Yeah.
So would you be surprised to hear that he had broken his elbow? And he ended up having 3 screws, but his broken elbow was his first broken bone at the age of 30. So I think it's interesting that he was able to avoid any breaks until 30.
Until 30, yeah, that's impressive. Like I said, that just shows you he's a legend of this skateboarding thing. He's broken almost every bone, but that just shows you're really invested in it. If you're getting injured, stuff like that, you're in it. You know what I mean? So that's his life. So yeah.
He was kind of talking about his injuries on his podcast, saying that he had skated too soon after a really bad injury, and that on his leg, the bone wasn't connecting anymore, so they were going to have to redo the surgery.
Right. Oh, so he hurry up and rush back out there, yeah.
And it was interesting, too, when he turned 50 years old, he made a 50 tricks at the age of 50, and these were tricks he was saying he's probably never going to do again. But he ended up having a really serious slam as he did that. He said that, you know, a broken pelvis was the worst pain imaginable. You know, out of all the injuries that he's had, that broken pelvis, he said, was the worst. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the most painful, because you really feel that. I feel like elbows and all that, you feel it for a minute, but then it goes away. But I think that's a sensitive spot. So yeah.
Yeah, and so let us know what y'all think in the comments. Is Tony Hawk the greatest of all time in skateboarding? And could we make comparisons to Tom Brady or Michael Jordan?
Yeah, I don't see nobody else taking his spot. So y'all let us know in the comments.